I am Ryan McClinton, community organizer with Sacramento ACT, lifetime resident of Sacramento, and committed to social justice work for everyone who's impacted most, but least represented. I am from Valley High, South Sacramento. Very proud about that too. Try to communicate, and you see what it's met with. He asked me if that's going on to communicate with them. We do so to make sure it's notified. That's some of the pushback we get. And I'm not gonna say pushback because he was very kind in that sense, but you can definitely sense the attitude of, well, we're playing a game.
Dude, I understand the game we're playing. Come on.
Well, no, I'm being honest.
And I'm being honest, right?
No, we're doing the cat and mouse. No, man, this is people's lives. It's not a game for us. But I don't think that piece is ever going to be recognized until the culture of policing changes. So, smile on your face, take off the mask and show something different. I'm a Live Free organizer, which stands on about 4 or 5 different pillars for the community, primarily around criminal justice reform, ending mass incarceration, reducing recidivism, gun violence reduction, neighborhood and community development and empowerment, and really decriminalization of Black and brown folks. As a staff organizer, I'm approaching 2 years in August of 2019, but I was a volunteer for about 1.5 years, 2 years prior to that. The meetings of a community organizer. I'd say 95% of your time, at least mine, is definitely meetings. And that's in a setting for a one-to-one conversation to a meeting as many as 30 to 40 people at a time. It's literally sitting down with folks and really hearing their story and understanding who they've been and where they're at, and really where do we walk through this journey collectively of what our challenges are and stay invested into actually creating this change. Not just the one shoot off of this issue that pops up and we're all kind of hot and upset about, but where we continue to build into a change that doesn't keep us living in this reality where the same challenge keeps hitting our communities and our families. You have to kind of know where a person's at and what kind of drives them, where their intentionality lies, if it's somebody in power like a politician or a community member who actually has something to say, who lived through the real experience of an issue that we're talking about. And it's spending that time to really uncover all the layers, the textures of what an issue is, and really where does it all work together to, again, turn that wheel of change, or systemic oppression if it is. Just as much as you want to change it, you also have to be able to tear it apart. If you can't recognize both parts, probably fall into a system where nothing changes and everybody's still damaged. The lifeline. Without this, I don't know how to do any of this work. Literally from the standpoint of taking notes in it sometimes to having a meeting within a meeting. So I'll be talking to somebody and following up with a meeting that's to come, be it sending text messages, find the location that we're going to meet at, the time we're going to meet at, and then of course the schedule. The schedule is something that probably give folks anxiety. I'm gonna just give y'all a quick shot from here from a distance. Every day has something on it. And if it doesn't, then I'm fortunate and I'm surprised that I'm not supposed to be doing something. And you can't live with your phone unless you have a charger to carry around, because once this dies, you feel like you're naked. And I don't know if you like being naked in public, but I personally don't. If you're looking for relaxation and organizing, run the opposite way as fast as you can, because it's not gonna happen here. The greatest sense of relaxation that you have is where your schedule lines up with what you intended to do and getting it done. But you literally have to live by a schedule at this point, because it's so many people that you gotta meet with, so many follow-up conversations you have to have. It's a breakneck pace because there's so many urgent issues we have to get to. And to really get there effectively, we gotta know who we're talking to, what we're talking about, and why we're spending that time there. Everything that's making this theater happen, where this great speaker comes up and the crowd's reacting and all the food's being served, there's usually about 4 people with their hair on fire running around trying to figure out, what do I got to do next, and do we have this lined up, and just make sure everything kind of runs. There's so many things you're looking for to happen or hit on a moment or a benchmark, and as it does, you go to the next one. It's not like, okay, good, it's over. It's like, nope, now we got to get to the next one. But as it kind of comes together and it's finished, when it's all said and done, that's the relaxation moment.
And we are here standing for justice and accountability and saying
I don't think it's any one way that coordination has to look, but I think you have to be intentional about it so it's cohesive to whatever space you're trying to create. If you don't do anything else, building a relationship and building up leaders is really where you hope to exist at. And that looks like stepping back a lot of times too. So the coordination piece, it's not just an organizer. It's usually a leader. It's usually partners. It's usually a collection of village of folks that really make that happen in a way where if the communication is constant, then you're actually probably getting something done effectively. If it's setting up the agenda to food that's going to be present, to just the environment and the energy that's going on, and being aware of what else is going on outside of it, right? You can't walk into a meeting and not recognize the climate of the environment around you, because people walk in with that and they live with that. If you got a structured, coordinated environment where folks can kind of live into it however they need to, then you're able to kind of move things forward. If it's disjointed, not structured, it resonates in a number of ways that often can be problematic for a lot of people and potentially hurt them too if you're not really mindful of it. And I think that's really the joy of organizing, where you're recognizing that we just did something that impacts hundreds, if not thousands of lives, and we have the potential to make it go further and bigger if we're staying intentional and coordinated about that. The sacrifice of organizing, being able to sacrifice in a faith-based institution is the best possible way for me to sacrifice, because I do it only by and with my faith alone, which connects to everything else, right? It's the starting point for everything for me, and it's the everything for me too, because there's so many sleepless nights that you have, so many 16-hour days that you'll have, so many meetings that you'll jump from one to the next, and the entire time there's usually that quiet voice that's making you present with every person you're speaking with. That where you heard that painful thing that one person's walking away with and you're walking into the next meeting, that you can't be dismissive of, you have to honor it. The times where it is tiring, and I'm tired right now because I don't know how many straight weeks we've been in kind of a rapid pace marathon. But the times I get to sit down with one person for an hour and just see the fire in them and about where they see that we have opportunity to make change and who can connect to it, inspires you beyond any part of sacrifice. And I mean, it's something that a lot of folks say you have to be called towards, and I'm blessed to be called to this work and operate in it. If I could say anything to anyone who's thinking about organizing, community work, serving someone else, it's be intentional about how you love and how you love yourself in that process. It always is going to show up one way or another. It's something that can carry you across where you think you don't have any strength to go forward, and it's something that people will pour back into you as you pour out, but you can't pour from an empty vessel. So as a brother of mine recently said, serve from the saucer, not the cup, because the cup is for you, the saucer is for everybody else. And if you're pouring out love, you're going to be poured back in that much more that you can pour out to others. So be intentional about the love you show to people and how you activate and move in love.